Hello and welcome to Unpacking Activities. The activity we're going to unpack today is called 4-3-2. And this activity works as follows. The students are working in pairs. One student tells the other student, for example, the plot of their favorite movie, book, or TV show. They can talk about something else, but they need to talk for 4 minutes. The partner only listens. After the 4 minutes are up, they switch to a new partner. They tell the exact same thing, the same plot, the same description, but now they only have 3 minutes to talk. And their new partner, again, will only listen. After the 3 minutes, switch partners again. They tell the exact same thing to their new partner, but now they only have 2 minutes to talk, and their partner only listens. After all of that is done, you repeat steps 1, 2, and 3, but reversing roles. So whoever talked now listens and vice versa. What are some positive aspects of this activity? Well, the most obvious one is that it involves task repetition. And yes, if you repeat a task, you increase in your fluency and in your accuracy, potentially. At the very least, we see an improvement in fluency, how many words you say per minute. The fact that time limits also decrease and the students have to say more in less time also pushes students to increase their fluency. In task repetition itself, repeating something, trying it again, is actually good for presentational speaking. Even as I'm recording these videos, sometimes I record them more than once. So task repetition is certainly good. The other positive aspects is that the students are expressing meaning. They're telling each other their favorite movie or book. Maybe they're describing their routine, whatever topic you have assigned that you want them to tell each other. But the pitfall that I see is that even though we know what is being communicated, we don't know why. There is no purpose other than to practice talking. Why do they need to listen to each other? In other words, it seems like the audience has absolutely no role at all. And so we don't know if their partner is even paying attention to what the classmate is saying. And the other potential pitfall is that perhaps it only works with highly motivated students. The reason why I say it is because task repetition itself is not everyone's idea of fun. After the second time you did the exact same thing, it could be that some students feel like they don't want to talk about that anymore. It feels too repetitive. And it also could be that as you decrease the time limit, the students are just going to leave some parts out. Instead of increasing their fluency and trying to say the same thing in less time, they would probably just summarize their plot to 1 or 2 sentences and then be done with it. And that is another reason why it's good to have a purpose. We need to motivate students to want to convey all of the plot or whatever you ask them to convey every time. So not just the first time, but during the second and third time as well. So one adjustment we definitely need to make is that we need to give them a reason to communicate. It cannot be just practicing. What will the other person do with that information? Well, here's some possibilities. You can do the classic guess who, guess what, guess where. So if they're describing a place, their partner needs to guess what place that is. Or if they're describing a person, then the partner needs to guess who. If they're describing a TV show, a movie, the partner needs to guess what it is. Another possibility could be to get the listeners to notice patterns. So maybe the follow-up could be, after the 3 repetitions, what patterns, what things in common did you notice between the stories that your 3 classmates told you? And one final possibility could be to test their memory, see how much they remember from the 3 stories they heard, or to compare notes with a classmate who heard the same story. Remember that one student is telling that same story 3 times. So there are 3 classmates who heard a version of that story. And so they can compare notes and see how much those versions match. Some possible variations to the 4-3-2 speaking version could be a writing version. And task repetition when it comes to writing can be very good because you have more time to think about it, and you also have concrete evidence of what you said first, what you said the second time, what you said the third time. And they can even compare their progress and see what things they changed. But if you really need to keep it oral, if you really want the students to be talking, then another variation could be to record it instead of doing this live and talking to a classmate 3 times. A tool called extempore could work great for this because in extempore you can set time limits for their recordings. And you would have this evidence. The students could watch their recordings and see how their stories, their recordings changed in those 3 takes. All in all, I think the 4-3-2 activity has a lot of great potential, and I think that task repetition is something that we need to incorporate more, but it has to be purposeful. Why are we communicating? If you have any suggestions or alternatives for 4-3-2, please write them in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.